Good morning, spacemen. My name is Captain Collins. We're back in X4 Foundations. Today we're going to talk about the L-class ships, the best L-class ships in 2022. I split it a little bit up so that we're going to talk about the XL ships in the next week. But before that, this video is brought to you by you. So hit the subscribe button, it's free, and take a look at my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/CaptainCollins. That's all. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's go to the L-class ships, and we're going to start with the first class. The first class is the Compactor. And the best Compactor, well, there is only one choice, so it is the HOTAS. The HOTAS is just the single one Compactor there is out there. If you have Tides of Avarice, you know what it does. It does some scrapping. If you don't know what it does, check out my videos about Tides of Avarice, where I tell you all about that ship. And now let's move on to the freighters immediately. The freighters are very interesting. We have Vanguard and Sentinel versions for a lot of these freighters. The Vanguard versions are overall about 10 to 15% faster, but all of them are lacking exactly 16.7% or 1/6 of the cargo capacity. All of them. Do the math. We're starting with the freighter with the most cargo space, and in that case, this is the Compactor Sentinel. There is a downside to it. It's very slow. We're advancing fast because we have a lot to cover. The fastest freighter you can get with a high preset is a Buffalo. The Buffalo and basically all the split ships are the fastest you can get, but the Buffalo is very small. It has got a very small cargo space. But especially about the Buffalo, you need to know something. Although it's really fast, if you have Tides of Avarice, the Buffalo is basically obsolete. There is a better choice out there, and we will discuss that in a bit. The next freighter is the one with the best defense, again with high preset. This one is the Shuyaku Sentinel. Shuyaku has got the best defenses, but at the same time, it's very sluggish. If you want a freighter that is very agile, then you need to go with the Okinawa. The only downside to the Okinawa are the low hull points. And what's the best freighter in the game, for my opinion? It is the Sunra Sentinel. The Sunra Sentinel is fast, it's tanky, it has got enough cargo, but if you need something with a little bit more cargo, there you can still go with the Shuyaku, which has got a little bit more, well, considerably more cargo than the Sunra, but a jack of all trades would be the Sunra Sentinel. And we're moving on to the miners. The miners are divided into gas and mineral miners, but there are just slight differences, so I'm not covering the Vanguard versions. And most of the differences in turret output are because of the mining laser. I know the Tonius E has got a minimal cargo space variation between the gas and the mineral miner. Again, the same differences apply to the miners as for the freighters with Vanguard and Sentinel versions. If you need a miner with the most cargo, you go for a Crane Sentinel. But the Crane Sentinel is slow, it's not the slowest. The fastest though, the fastest miner is the Wyvern. Again, split ship. As with the freighters, the split ship lack in cargo capacity. And the best miner overall for me is, we already talked about it, the Crane Sentinel. Why the Crane Sentinel? Because it has got the best defenses, it has got the best cargo, and it's still okay fast. An alternative would be the Tonius, because they are like third best speed, third best cargo. They are somewhere in between all other ships. Not the best, not the worst. Why not the Donia, you're asking, from Tides of Avarice? Well, because the Donia, first of all, is only a mineral miner. And second, it's not outstanding anywhere in its stats. The next L class is a specific class that's also only filled with a single ship, and that's a Scavenger. Scavenger is a hybrid class. It is a hybrid between a freighter and a destroyer, and also included in Tides of Avarice only. And here we are talking about the Barbarossa. The Barbarossa is on your map visually assigned as a destroyer. It has got the weapon and the speed and agility of a destroyer. This is crazy. And the cargo capacity is actually higher than the one from the Buffalo. It is like a light freighter with some destroyer weapons. And here we are at the point that I was talking about before. It is in every single category better than the Buffalo. There's no need for you to buy the Buffalo anymore if you want a light and fast trader. Take a look and replace all the Buffaloes that you got in your game. And by the way, if you like this video and you like this form and the style of video, then click the thumbs up button. That will show YouTube that YouTube should show this to more people. And again, I know that you are especially interested in the fighting ships, so we're going to talk about the destroyers now. The destroyers are also divided in Vanguard and Sentinel versions, at least for the original ones. And the Vanguard versions do have around 16 to 17% less hull points than the Sentinel versions, but again are faster and do have a little bit more agility. To compare all of these destroyers together, I did a custom outfit for them. So all of the destroyers are compared with a Terran travel engine, Mark III thrusters, Terran shields wherever possible, Argon L-class plasma turrets, and Argon M flak turrets. If you're asking me, this is the best layout that you can get on a destroyer. Doesn't matter what you're doing with it, if it's destroying other capital ships or if it's destroying stations. And with that loadout, we have the highest DPS destroyer in the game with the Terran Sin. Of course, maybe you have already know that. It is a very powerful ship with 3 forward-facing guns and 8 L-class turrets. This is really high DPS. The most tanky one, although by just a little bit, is the Phoenix Sentinel. The Phoenix Sentinel has got the most combined hull and shield points together, but I would not recommend to taking that other than as a supply ship for your fleet to take out other fighters, because the turret placement on the Phoenix is just so bad. And the fastest and the most agile destroyer in the game is the Rattlesnake. Not only that, but the Rattlesnake is also my favorite choice for all destroyers. Why that? The Rattlesnake is easier to obtain than the Sin because you can just simply buy that at the split and you do not need to get the blueprint first and then build it yourself. Like, this is a very hard to obtainable ship. Next reason is that the Rattlesnake do have a better turret mount and a better turret placement. It lacks 2 L-class turrets, but it has way more M-class turrets and therefore defends itself against fighters or defense drones, which are way more common in the latest versions when you're attacking stations than, for example, the Sin. And you have more weapons to modify. You have 4 forward-facing weapons. And I can just show you my Rattlesnake that I modded completely. Like, look at these numbers. These numbers are insane. Like 25,000. This is just crazy. You can go as high with a modded Sin, but you're still lacking one weapon that you could maybe mod higher. And the last reason, it's just simply faster. So the Sin is still very tanky. It has got a good loadout without mods, and it is more versatile with its turrets because you can address every single L-class turret differently and place something else on it. So you can have, if you want to, you could have 8 different L-class turrets with a dumbfire turret, a guided turret, lasers, plasma, whatsoever. And there you have it. These are my best L-class ships that I see at the moment in X4 with all DLCs in 2022. If you like that, thanks so much. leave a subscription and leave a like, and we see us again in the next video where we're going to talk about the best XL ships. See ya!